For millennia, humans lived in a world where the concept of race did not exist. In those ancient times, people were more concerned with survival, community, and their immediate environment. They hunted, gathered, and later farmed, forming tight-knit groups that relied on each other for sustenance and protection. The idea of categorizing people based on physical characteristics was foreign to them. Our ancestors, spread across the globe, had their own ways of understanding the world and each other. They developed unique cultures, languages, and traditions, all shaped by their surroundings and experiences. These early humans interacted with neighboring groups, sharing knowledge and resources, and sometimes even merging communities. This was a time before the artificial divisions of race shaped human interactions. People saw each other as members of their community or tribe, not as representatives of different races. Their identities were tied to their roles within their groups, their skills, and their contributions to the collective well-being. Imagine a world where your identity was not defined by the color of your skin or the shape of your eyes. Instead, it was defined by your actions, your relationships, and your place within the community. This was the reality for early humans, who valued cooperation and mutual support above all else. This was the reality for early humans. They lived in harmony with their environment, adapting to the challenges it presented. Their lives were simple but rich with meaning as they forged deep connections with the land and each other. Their lives were intertwined with the natural world and their immediate communities. They understood the importance of working together to ensure the survival and prosperity of their group. This sense of unity and shared purpose was the foundation of their existence. The idea of race, as we understand it today, is a relatively recent concept in human history. It emerged as societies grew more complex and began to interact on a larger scale. The divisions we now recognize as racial categories were created to justify social hierarchies and power structures. It is a social construct, not a biological reality, that emerged under specific historical circumstances. Understanding this can help us see beyond the superficial differences and recognize the shared humanity that connects us all. By looking back at our ancestors, we can learn valuable lessons about unity, cooperation, and the true essence of human identity. From the savannas of Africa to the shores of distant continents, early humans formed small nomadic groups. These hunter-gatherer societies were defined by their close-knit communities and reliance on cooperation for survival. Life was challenging and survival depended on working together. Resources were shared, knowledge was passed down through generations, and individuals were defined by their contributions to the group. There was no concept of a hierarchical society based on physical characteristics. What mattered was your ability to contribute to the group's well-being. In a world without the rigid classifications of race, how did early humans distinguish between us and them? The answer lies in the social structures of these early societies. Tribal affiliation, family ties, and shared skills were paramount. Your tribe was your family, your protector, and your source of identity. Skills and knowledge, such as hunting prowess or medicinal knowledge, earned respect and status within the group. These attributes, not physical appearance, determined your standing. Life for early humans was a constant struggle for survival against the elements, scarcity, and predators. Cooperation was not just desirable, it was essential. Individuals relied on each other for food, shelter, and protection. Sharing resources and knowledge ensured the group's survival. This interdependence fostered a strong sense of community and belonging. The success of the hunt depended on coordinated efforts. Similarly, defending against predators required collective action. These shared experiences strengthened the bonds within the group. Section 5. The ties that bind culture in early societies. Culture played a vital role in binding these early societies together. Shared beliefs, rituals, and traditions created a sense of unity and purpose. Storytelling, music, and art served as powerful tools for transmitting knowledge, values, and beliefs across generations. These cultural practices reinforced social norms and fostered a shared identity. Through these shared experiences, early humans developed a deep understanding of their place in the world and their relationship to each other. This sense of belonging transcended any superficial differences in physical appearance. Section 6. A change on the horizon seeds of division. As humans migrated and populations grew, interactions between different groups became more frequent. This led to the exchange of knowledge, goods, and ideas, but it also sowed the seeds for future divisions. Differences in language, customs, and beliefs became more pronounced as groups encountered others with distinct ways of life. This led to a growing awareness of us versus them. Competition for resources, land, and dominance also contributed to tensions between groups. These conflicts, however, were not rooted in the concept of race as we understand it today. Section 7. The Rise of Race, a New Order. The concept of race as a tool for categorizing and ranking human beings emerged much later in human history. Initially, human societies were organized around kinship, tribe, and community, with differences in language, culture, and religion being the primary markers of identity. However, as European nations began to explore and expand their territories, they encountered diverse populations across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. It coincided with the rise of colonialism, imperialism, and the transatlantic slave trade. The economic motivations behind these ventures were immense, driving European powers to seek new resources and labor. The establishment of colonies required a justification for the subjugation and exploitation of indigenous peoples and enslaved Africans. European powers seeking to justify their exploitation and enslavement of other peoples developed racial ideologies that placed themselves at the top of a hierarchy of human worth. These ideologies were not just social constructs, but were institutionalized through laws, policies, and practices that reinforced the dominance of Europeans over other races. These ideologies, based on pseudoscientific notions of superiority and inferiority, were used to legitimize oppression and discrimination. Scientists and intellectuals of the time produced works that claimed to provide evidence of the natural hierarchy of races, often using flawed methodologies and biased interpretations to support their conclusions. This marked a turning point in human history, where the concept of race became entrenched in social, political, and economic systems. The legacy of these racial ideologies continues to impact societies around the world, influencing contemporary issues of inequality, justice, and human rights. Understanding the historical context of race is crucial for addressing its enduring effects and working towards a more equitable future. Section 8. Lessons from the Past. Echoes of Equality. Looking back at the vast expanse of human history before the rise of race, we can learn valuable lessons about equality, cooperation, and the true meaning of community. In those times, people were bound by their shared experiences and mutual dependence. They understood that their survival hinged on their ability to work together regardless of their differences. This sense of unity and collective effort was the cornerstone of their societies. Early human societies, for all their challenges, offer a glimpse into a world where difference was not a basis for discrimination. These communities were often small, and every member played a crucial role. The concept of otherness was virtually non-existent because everyone was seen as an integral part of the whole. Their daily lives were a testament to the power of inclusivity and mutual respect. Their survival depended on recognizing their shared humanity and working together for the common good. Whether it was hunting, gathering, or farming, these activities required a collective effort. The success of one was the success of all, and this interdependence fostered a deep sense of community and belonging. They shared resources, knowledge, and skills, ensuring that everyone had what they needed to thrive. These ancient societies remind us that our differences are not inherent flaws, but rather reflections of the rich tapestry of human experience. The artifacts and artworks they left behind tell stories of diverse cultures coexisting and enriching each other. They celebrated their differences, seeing them as strengths rather than weaknesses. This historical perspective challenges us to rethink our modern views on diversity and inclusion. Embracing this diversity, as our ancestors did, is essential for building a more just and equitable world. By looking to the past, we can find inspiration and guidance for the future. The lessons of ancient societies teach us that unity and cooperation are not just ideals, but practical necessities for survival and prosperity. In today's world, where division and inequality still exist, these echoes of equality from our past can help us forge a path towards a brighter, more inclusive future. Section 9. Conclusion towards a future beyond race. The concept of race, while deeply ingrained in our modern world, is a relatively recent invention. It is a social construct that has been used to divide, exploit, and oppress. By understanding its historical roots and the long period of human history that preceded it, we can begin to dismantle the structures of racism that continue to plague our societies. Let us strive to create a future where the arbitrary lines of race no longer define our interactions and where we can finally embrace the full spectrum of human diversity.